have one final chance to find out if Florida State can actually be saved before College Football 27 takes over. And the weird part is, this season is not just about surviving anymore. We're sitting at 5-2. We are definitely still alive in the ACC race. The postseason is still sitting out there, and if this final stretch goes the right way, this first season could turn into something way bigger than I thought it was going to be. And if you're new here, this has not been one of those rebuilds where everything just clicks immediately. This first season has been weird. There are pieces of this team that make me feel like we're closer than I thought, and then there are other moments where it feels like we're nowhere near ready. For most of the year, teams really haven't been able to line up and just run the ball on us, but even that has created its own problem because when teams can't run, they start throwing more, and that's where the pass defense has really been exposed. And somehow, even with all the good moments defensively, we still have not forced a single turnover all season. So that kind of tells the story of year one better than anything. There are things to like, but nothing feels fully solved. Puglisi has had drives where I look at him and think, okay, maybe he can be the guy. Then there are other times where one mistake changes the whole game. Bo Jackson feels like the player this offense should probably run through right now, but the real surprise has been Aaron Boone. He's an elite dev freshman, he already leads the team in yards, and that's not just a cool stat to throw on the screen. That might be the first real sign that this rebuild actually has a future. And that's kind of been the struggle with this whole team. You can see the foundation, you can see why year two could be different once these recruits get here. So if you're excited for College Football 27 Dynasty rebuilds and story-driven seasons like this is probably a good time to subscribe because that's exactly where this channel is going. But before we get to any of that, we have to finish this season, and this final stretch is not exactly comfortable. We've got Pitt first, and on paper, this feels like a game we should win. But that's also the kind of game that can tell you a lot about a team like this, because if we're sloppy, if we turn it over, if the offense disappears again, then suddenly a game we should control turns into another fight. And after Pitt, the schedule gets a lot more serious. We still have NC State, we have Boston College after them, and then comes the games that I am most worried about because SMU has hit the portal hard. They brought in Arch Manning. And not just him, they have a bunch of playmakers on this offense and a pretty solid defense with it as well. And then, of course, at the end of the year, we have Florida sitting at number 2 in the country with an extremely talented roster. DJ Lagway, Fluff Bothwell, two really good players with lots of abilities that can be a problem. Before we worry about SMU and Florida, we have to handle the game right here in front of us. Pitt was able to take the lead after a long 70-yard touchdown. I called cover 2, and then they called a post route, and it was all she wrote. Just like this play, Bo Jackson had the block set up perfectly in front of him. He is putting the team on his back right now, man. And that's what we need, too, for a lot of reasons. Get those rush yards up, get that deal breaker up, and take the lead back from Pitt. Gerard Pringle, he's a redshirt running back. He checks into the game for Bo Jackson, and he is going to fight his way forward for the first down. That's the kind of effort you want to see from a player who has not been able to get on the field much. Bo Jackson a bit shaken up, so I wanted to bring in a new guy with some fresh legs. One-on-one down there on the right side. Javen Boggs is going to snag this with one hand. What a grab. Inside the 10 now. Absolutely legendary throw from Puglisi with a man in his face just lets it rip. And one-on-one with White Lightning out there, not able to get a hand on it. Javen Boggs, though. What a snag. Bo Jackson was injured, and it's dissuaded me from wanting to run the ball. And he's still hurt right now. But here goes Gerard Pringle down the sideline. He's the fastest running back on the team. And no one had the speed to catch him. And just like that, we were able to take the lead right back after one play. Bo Jackson still shaking up right now. His left knee giving him all kinds of trouble. But Aaron Boone gets wide open over the middle. And we are now at the 13-yard line already. And we can take the lead with the touchdown. So don't want to, get it too fast. Maybe take a timeout or two of theirs. Clock is winding. Puglisi changes the play. 30 seconds to go here. We can take the lead with the touchdown. Pringle to the 1. And now they come out with a very questionable defense. Puglisi will sneak it in. For the moment it stands, they might review this. But Florida State has taken the lead over number 15 Pittsburgh. For the moment, I do think they're going to review it. They did not. Play stands, and we go up by 3 with 6 seconds remaining. But it looks like this one is over. He decides to just run right out of bounds. Very anticlimactic, but we knock off 15 Pittsburgh by 3. We had the chance to put up 40 in this one. If I was able to finish these drives, man, I have got to clean up my red zone turnovers. Going into Pitt, I needed an answer because after Miami, I honestly did not know if that game was just one bad one or if it was a warning sign that this team still wasn't ready. And early on, it kind of felt like we were still stuck in that same place. The offense moved the ball, but we weren't finishing drives. But the main guy getting open is Randy Pittman. To the end zone, there he is, Randy Pittman with the spectacular catch. What a throw on the run by Puglisi as well to take the lead. And that's that gold 50-50 ability that he has, I think. It's either silver or gold. Either way, Randy drives important. We've gotten off really hot in this one. And now Gerard Pringle right up the middle. This kid has so much explosiveness to him when he runs the ball, man. I have got to see more Gerard Pringle. I can't believe that I have had him redshirted all season. He should have been RB2 this whole time. That was sack number 7, and that puts them at the 1-yard line. He backs up all the way, and that's a safety. I have never seen that happen before, but I am not going to complain at all. All we have to do is knee it out one more time, and we will claim our 7th win of the season and our first win as a top 25 team. So with just 3 more games left, I'm feeling pretty good. I completed most of the passes in this game. Of course, another pick 6 really gave them life in this one. Of course, it was 14-3 at one point. And they also had a really good rush defense. On defense, Daniel Lyons had a feast. 3 TFLs, 3.5 sacks. Marquise Lightfoot, 2.5, 3 TFLs. And no interceptions. But we did force a fumble with KJ Kirkland, the junior safety. Going into this game at Boston College, this will be our last away game because we will face SMU and Florida at home. Great advantage for us. Right now, we are ranked number 15. I assume we beat BC. We're going to shoot up just a little bit. But of course, if we can beat SMU at home and Florida, you're looking at a top 5 team. And I am hopeful that we're going to get a rematch against Miami in the conference championship because Clemson just took another loss. And I like our chances of finishing out strong at the end of this season. Though SMU is standing in front of us and they have Arch Manning leading the way. I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with our defense. Forcing a 3-and-out that quick is huge because we have not been able to do that much this season. Now on 2nd and 3, Puglisi takes a shot to the end zone where he finds the number 1 wide receiver, Alex Perry. Doesn't have a ton of stats, but he's made some big plays for us this season. Big 3rd down here in the red zone. Puglisi's going to fake the handoff and throw it to Alex Perry, who secures his 2nd touchdown of the game. We'll take the lead before we go into halftime, though Boston College still has a minute 40 to get something going. They use second down to stop the clock with a spike, and now he's going to get sacked again by Marquise Lightfoot. The 5th sack of the game for FSU. Clock still ticking on first down. We spread them out 5 wide. Aaron Boone is going to catch this one and break away for 6. FSU running away with it now. This one is pretty much done. I think we can go ahead and start preparing for SMU and put the backups in here for the rest of this game. Once we clean things up, Boston College really had no shot in this one. Puglisi ends up with player of the game somehow, even though I threw 3 interceptions. He made up for it with his 3 touchdowns and 300 yards passing. Both running backs look solid, though this was a 70 overall team and we're about to face SMU and Arch Manning. So now we're down to the final 2 games of the regular season, and both of them are at home, which sounds nice until you look at who's actually left on the schedule. We've got Florida waiting after SMU, and they're sitting at 9-1. Their only loss came a couple of weeks ago against Georgia, and they only lost that game by 1 point. So even though they dropped to number 6, that's still a team that's going to come in here with a lot to play for. They still have South Carolina before they get to us, so I don't want to act like we're already there. But with this being a rivalry game and how this season has started to build, this one has definitely been sitting in the back of my mind. Before we even get there, though, we have to deal with number 19 SMU. And this is the part that makes this game tricky because when I look at SMU season, I don't fully know how much I trust them. They're 7-3 and some of their losses make you feel like this is a game Florida State should handle. They lost to Boston College in a shootout and we just beat Boston College. So there's definitely a part of me that looks at this game and says we should feel confident, especially playing this game at home. But then you keep looking and it's not that simple. They went to Notre Dame, the number 1 team in the country now, and only lost by 7. And to be fair, it's not like we blew out Notre Dame either. We beat them by a field goal, so we already know how thin the margin is when you're playing a team like that. But that's kind of the difference. We found a way to finish that game. SMU got close, but they didn't finish. They also have a ranked win over Louisville, so it's not like SMU has done absolutely nothing. They've just been hard to figure out. There are games where they look very beatable, and then there are games where they look like they can hang around with anybody. They have Arch Manning, and he's not just a big name in this dynasty. He's right there in the Heisman race, which means even if SMU's resume doesn't completely scare me, he absolutely can if we give him chances. That's what makes this dangerous, because we've done way too much work to let the season get messy right before the Florida game. We're number 13 in the country, we're still sitting 2nd in the ACC behind Miami, and at this point, every win has to keep pressure on the top of the conference. I don't need us playing like we have to prove the Notre Dame win all over again. I just need us to be clean, get Bo Jackson involved, let Puglisi take the easy throws when they're there, and make Arch Manning drive the whole field instead of giving him short fields and free chances. Because if we handle this the right way, the next week against Florida feels massive. But if we mess around today, the whole ending of this season can change before we even get there. SMU has already shown they can push the number 1 team in the country. They have the quarterback that can make this game uncomfortable, but Florida State should have the better team. On 1st and 10, Puglisi fakes it and has a man wide open in the end zone. Randy Pittman, whoa, doing all kinds of stuff down there, already celebrating. So we will put first points on the board. Very good sign. I think we'll be able to keep this momentum being the home team. SMU's got pressure on the offense now. That's 3 play action passes to the tight end on this drive. I think I've got them keyed in now, but they're going to run it here on 1st down. Arch Manning met and brought down at the 1. I think we're very lucky there. They'll probably keep this one on the ground to the back this time, and he'll easily get in. And they'll tie this game up after a really good drive. 3 good catches by the tight end. Players are making clutch plays right now. Good blocks from the line this time. Bo Jackson gets free to the 11. So 3rd and 6 from the 8. We can still get a 1st down, but Randy Pittman's open in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And we take the lead back from the Mustangs. Arch has a man open over the middle, but big hit. Should have knocked it free. Or I should have just been covering that area. I knew it was coming. Clock is winding. They only have one timeout remaining. Bringing a man in motion. He'll get the pass as well. Knight juking him in. So SMU is doing a good job responding to another touchdown. Looking right side, and this one's caught. Caught the safety lacking in the cover 2. And Ymir Knight puts them on the board to tie the game. All tied up here in the fourth quarter. And SMU has possession. They have looked really solid on this drive. They can't really do anything wrong, it seems. Look at the spin moves coming out here. I truly don't know what to do. I've called nothing but zone coverage this game, so maybe switching it up now is the right call. But Arch Manning's going to keep this one on the ground and take it all the way. Snuck that one in there. Haven't called it too many times this game, but I was not expecting it right then. 1st and 10. It's a run for Bo. Right up the middle. He spins forward. Ooh, he was close to busting that one all the way. From the 32, we bring Boone in motion to the backfield, and Puglisi will flip it forward to him on the option. All right. Out of bounds he goes at the 21. Bo Jackson's hot right now, but he is also a bit shaken up. His foot is giving him problems. His speed's probably affected by it too. And he's going to fight his way into the end zone. Doesn't even matter. I was about to sub in Pringle, but Bo said, I got you, fam. Defense showed up for us and forced a 3 and out, so we get the ball at the 45. Gerard Pringle starts this one for a gain of 10. Took a big shot, but he's good to go. So is Bo Jackson, so he'll come in on the next play. Trying to slow things down a bit here and chew up some clock. 7 yards on 1st down. We're going to keep it on the ground with Bo because they have not had much of an answer for him here in the second half. Approaching the 2-minute warning, should hit right after this play. Puglisi's going to roll out to his right and fire to Alex Perry. He hangs on, and now we're at the 3. On 1st and goal, we'll toss it out left to Gerard Pringle, and they were not ready for it. Used every bit of that 94 speed to get out there. And we take the lead with just 1:56 to go. Gonna have to go a long distance, starting this drive at the 17. Down by 7, Arch will hand it off to his number 1 back. And now another 3rd down here. 3rd and 8. Quickly finding Dylan Edwards out the backfield, man. He's gone. Wow. Lines up 5 wide and then just runs right up the seam, man. And Kirkland let up another touchdown, dude. I just checked to see if Bo Jackson could come back in, but he is shaken up right now. Puglisi looking left for his tight end, but just a bad pass. I do not want to go to overtime, but being at the 33, it's 3rd and 10. If I can't get it here, we're going to have to punt it. Gerard Pringle's going to drop it, and we do have to punt. And just hope that our defense can hold and take us to overtime. I have made a change at safety. Bringing in the true freshman Terrell Harris. Shoot, I forgot his name already. But he hasn't played all season, been redshirted. But he is faster than our starting safety, Kirkland. And with 5 seconds to go here, they're just going to let all the time run out. I'll take us into overtime with that. There's no way. 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 Just like that, Dylan Edwards broke free. Are you serious? Our season is going to end like that? With Dylan Edwards just putting the team on his back? I have no words. I was getting prepared for overtime. That was unbelievable. We backed up. It had 3 people right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 people in that pile, and he just pushes them off? Are you serious? Can we get this dude tested? Arch Manning put up Heisman numbers against us, 400 yards almost with 3 touchdowns. Dylan Edwards didn't even do that great rushing, but you go to the receiving stats and 175 yards on 5 catches. He averaged 35 yards a reception. That's so deflating. I was convinced we were going into overtime. And now the season is in a strange spot. We dropped to number 16, but we're still second in the ACC, so the season didn't completely fall apart in the rankings. I guess the committee looked at it like a good win. I guess the committee looked at it like a good loss, or at least not the kind of loss that destroys everything. Because before that play, Florida was already going to be huge. It's the rivalry. They're number 3 in the country. They lost to Georgia by 1 point, but they bounced back against Auburn and South Carolina before they got to us. Now it's not just about finishing the regular season against Florida, it's about finding out what this team looks like after getting its heart ripped out on the final play. Because that SMU loss can't be undone. The ACC hopes are probably in a bad spot now, and if Miami doesn't give us help, that might be the game we look back on as the one that cost us. But we still have one more chance to make the ending of this season mean something, and I think that's the only way I can really look at it right now. Florida is coming here, they're still one of the best teams in the country, and after the way we just lost, I don't really need some perfect, clean storybook ending. I just need to see Florida State show that there's still something left. And I think the big thing that is hurting us right now is the turnovers, man. If you look at the beginning of the season, it looks pretty dang clean for the most part. Of course, there were 3 interceptions against Miami, but since then, it's been rough, I gotta say. 3 interceptions against Boston College, 3 against SMU, and then here against Pittsburgh, a game we barely won, no passing touchdowns and an interception. I know that if I cleaned this stat up, we'd probably be winning by 2 possessions. I'm expecting big things here. Florida is the highest rated team we faced this season, I'm pretty sure. Clemson might have been a higher overall than them, actually. But Florida is number 3, and I cannot afford to throw interceptions in this one and give them free possessions. DJ Lagway to the air on 2nd down and 7, looking right side for his tight end. That'll make it 3rd down and 4. Gotta think he would have handed off to Fluff Bothwell on that one, but instead, he's gonna find Sammy Brown. That's our 2nd interception of the season. Man, we needed that for momentum. Stealing a possession from the Gators is huge. I thought we were just going to force a 3 and out, but I'll take an interception, especially when we haven't gotten hardly any all season. And now up the middle with Bo. Good job by the DT. So Puglisi from the 23. He's fake the handoff and then throw it to Bo because he is wide open over there on the right side. A holding call backed us up to the 22. And you know this team has got to be keying in on Bo Jackson. He's been our workhorse all season. On this screenplay, he gets all 10 back for us. 3rd and 10, we'll motion Pringle out of the backfield. And the pass will go to him. That'll make it 4th and 1. We have a decision to make. From the 4-yard line, this could be risky. But I think we have a good chance here on the screen pass. Pringle breaks 1 tackle, but they swarm him. I should have just taken the points. They were free points. But the coach got greedy, and I went for it. It was so tempting, and I took the bait. I shouldn't have. I know that now. Florida's going to get going here. DJ Lagway falls back all the way into the end zone. Instead of 3, we get 2. So an interception and a safety for our defense. Not sure what's going through Florida's head right now, but it's got to be a lot of burning papers. Bo Jackson getting free there on the right side. You gotta like what you're seeing from Florida State right now. They're playing with a lot of passion and fire. Bo Jackson up the middle, springing free, trying to reach ahead for a touchdown. Where does it go, my head? All right, Bo Jackson will get the carry, and extending his hand out, he'll score. And you gotta consider going for 2 here, make it 10-0. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Every single drive this 3rd quarter has ended in a punt. And now we'll get started this time with Pringle on the ground. Oh, wow, Gerard Pringle gets loose. This is the biggest play of the second half. Gerard Pringle put on a move to get 6. The entire third quarter was nothing but punting. I did not expect the play to break out just like that. And we have extended this lead once again. Florida's defense finally breaks in the third quarter, man. To make it a 21-point game, I want to go for 2 here. And we're going to hit Boone on the slant. That one's easy. 3rd and 9, Lagway. Gonna take a deep shot throw here. That's caught. Kai Bates, man, what happened? Florida finally answers in the second half with their first touchdown. And now only down by 14 with 5 minutes to go. DJ Lagway looking for another touchdown from the 11. He's going to hit his man, and so are we. 4th and 3. They're going to go for it. To the air, has men opened, and then throws it to Kai Bates. He makes up for his busted coverage earlier and gets his first interception of the season. DJ Lagway throws his 2nd pick of the game. I don't think we've had 2 picks in a game this season. I can confidently say Florida State responded. After the way that SMU game ended, I really didn't know what this team was going to look like coming into this one. You lose on a play like that, where the game is basically in your hands and then it's gone, and sometimes that follows you into the next week. But tonight, against the number 3 team in the country in a rivalry game, this team didn't look broken. Florida came in here 10-1 with their only loss being by 1 point to Georgia, and we just beat them by 2 touchdowns. That's not a small thing. The ACC picture might still be complicated, and maybe the SMU loss still ends up costing us more than we want it to, but if this regular season had to end with a question, this was the answer I needed. Florida State took one of the worst losses of the year, came back home, and beat Florida. And honestly, after everything this season has been, that feels like the right way to finish it. Puglisi, 21 of 29, 200 yards, 72% completion, and how about that? No interceptions and a score as well. The final rankings are here. With SMU's victory over us, they will get a chance to play in the conference championship, and they are ranked number 12, so they might have some playoff hopes. By the time we get to the conference championship week, we've basically had 2 weeks to sit with how the regular season ended, and honestly, I still don't know if there was a more Florida State way for this season to finish. We lose to SMU on one of the most ridiculous plays I've seen in this dynasty, and at the time it felt like that might have taken everything away from us. The ACC race, the playoff chance, the whole ending of the season. All of it felt like it changed on one play, but then we turned around and beat Florida. Not just any Florida team either. They came in as one of the best teams in the country, and after everything that happened the week before, that was the response I needed to see from this team. But now we're in this strange spot where the regular season is over, and somehow it feels like we're waiting for the real answer. Because we're not playing for the ACC championship. Miami is, and SMU is. Which is probably the most annoying part of all this, because we lost to both of these teams. They have the head-to-head wins over us, and because of that, we don't get to control this part ourselves. All we can really do now is look at their resume and hope it's enough. We beat Notre Dame to open the season, and they ended up becoming one of the best teams in the country. I do think Florida State has a real argument here, but the frustrating part is that we don't get to make that argument on the field anymore. That was the cost of the SMU game. So after all the waiting, Miami ends up beating SMU for the ACC championship, and I'm not going to act like that fixes what happened to us, because it doesn't. SMU still beat us. They still kept us out of that game, and that final play is probably going to bother me for a while. But Miami winning did keep the door open, because when the playoff bracket comes out, Florida State is still alive. We're the 10 seed. We're 9-3. We did not get the clean ending though, the ACC, and we definitely made this harder than it needed to be. But somehow the season is not over. Arch Manning ends up taking the Heisman for SMU. So now the season has one more life, and the matchup is Ohio State. That is not exactly a soft landing. They just beat Oregon by 25 in their conference championship game. They're 11 and 2, and now we have to go on the road in the playoffs against one of the biggest brands in college football. And this is a matchup against a Heisman contending quarterback again, Julian Sayin, 48 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the season. And they also have running back Kawan Lacey, the cover athlete of College Football 27, or one of them at least. And Jeremiah Smith is still sitting here at 99 overall now with Brandon Enos as well. This is a really, really good team. And that's before we get to their defense. They have a really good player here in Edric Houston. If we struggled against SMU, imagine what Jeremiah Smith is going to do to us, man. Kawan Lacey, Julian Sayin, this just is not going to be a fun time, guys. I am so sorry. Why couldn't we have played Boise State? So yes, I'd say with this playoff appearance, I'd consider this rebuild a success, but we still have a chance to play for all the glory in the national championship. We just have to escape Ohio State, and Jeremiah Smith doesn't really have any competition in our secondary. Really hope we can put up a fight against this offense. Don't want this to be the final game of the season. I'm very happy with the way things have turned out so far. We were one play away, but there's no reason to dwell on it. We're still in the playoffs. And I'm expecting to do all kinds of rebuilds like this in College Football 27. I can't wait for that game to come out and start using NIL and all the new features. But right now, we're going to focus on this first playoff matchup against Ohio State. They're going to get started on offense after this kick return, starting at the 19. Kawan Lacey in the backfield. He is probably going to be a problem for us today, even though we do have the nation's #1 rush defense. They're trying to get him going early. Might have to do it through the air. On third down here, what are they going to do? Julian Sayin is hit as he throws it. Once more, Puglisi to the air, looking right side for Javen Boggs, who hangs on to this. No timeouts remaining, and Ohio State is crowding the line here. That was an amazing catch by Boggs, dude. From the 19, under heavy pressure, he takes a shot to the end zone to Alex Perry. There's our first touchdown, coming on a Moss catch over one of their best cornerbacks, too. Our #1 receiver scores the first touchdown for the Seminoles, and we take the lead before halftime. Similar performances from these teams on the ground, but we have done excellent through the air. Puglisi with this really nice touchdown from Alex Perry. Fourth quarter begins with our offense at the 6. It's 2nd and goal. And Puglisi will get it to Randy Pittman, who crosses the line, extending FSU's lead over #7 Ohio State. I am extremely impressed with this defense so far. They've only allowed 60 yards in this game. They're sending Kawan Lacey in motion. Jordan Hall with the pressure, and he's going to have to just throw it away. Now on 2nd down, they'll go back to the air, and pressure from 2 different sides. Sayin is sacked. Lions and Lightfoot combining there to get half sacks. That makes it 3rd and 17. Pressured again. Lions will pick up a sack for himself. Backing him up all the way to the 12. They're going to have to punt. Similar performances from both backs. Not the best games, but they're getting started here in the... Oh no, Jeremiah Smith getting behind Quindarius Jones. And I knew it. I knew that was a bad play to call. But we got stuck in man coverage right there. 1-on-1 on the left side with Jeremiah Smith. That is not the matchup you want. He was also on our slowest starting cornerback. Yeah, that's on me. Ohio State punished me. I deserved it. Called cover 1. If I was in cover 3, probably would have been fine. Cover 4, anything would have been better than that. We have worked really hard to get here. We have a lead with 6 minutes in our first playoff game in this dynasty. Gerard Pringle getting us started with a gain of 13. We have to go 70 yards. I think we can burn up this clock. Left side, Aaron Boone gets open and pushed out of bounds, unfortunately. Boone comes in motion to the left side, trying to get some mixed match coverage with the defense. Puglisi left side for Gerard Pringle on 3rd and 14. He makes a move for the first down. Big play from the second string running back. Got Ohio State to use their first timeout. Bo Jackson has checked out of the game, but that's all good because Gerard Pringle can carry us right now. FSU has just had an answer for everything that Ohio State has thrown at us on defense. We hand it off to Gerard Pringle, and he scores a touchdown to increase our lead. Wasn't really necessary. I was going to try to burn out the clock and just take the 17-14 win. But with just 90 seconds left, unless they get an onside kick, I do think this one is over. And we're going to be moving on in the playoffs. They would get the ball down the field, but obviously took too much time. Couldn't do anything, and the clock went out. Ohio State will fall in the playoffs, but Puglisi is named player of the game, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that was a really good one. I thought our defense played way better than I was expecting. The only time their offense looked good was when I called a bad play. Cover 1, and Jeremiah Smith just blew us out of the water. But yeah, take a look at this. We had them in every stat just about. They were one-dimensional. They tried to get Kawan Lacey going at the beginning. He finished with 33, 3.6 a carry. Julian Sand threw the ball 20 times, had 2 touchdowns, but only 146 yards. And I love the way we spread the ball today. 9 catches, 76 for Aaron Boone in the playoffs. Randy Pittman, 37 and a score. Alex Perry had that big touchdown and 70 yards. What a surprising performance from the Seminoles. We've won the first round of the playoffs, and now I want to see who we will be facing because I forgot who it was. We're going to get a rematch versus Miami. All right. So this couldn't have written itself much better, considering all the losses we got. Make it to the playoffs, handle our business against Ohio State, and then get a rematch in the Chick-fil-A Bowl versus Miami. But we've seen this team already, and I know the mistakes that I made in that game, so if I correct them, we might have a shot to pull this one out. Here are the results from the other games in the playoffs. Florida scored 62 against Boise State. That's insane. 45 from Oregon against Notre Dame. Wow. So no rematch at potential for them. Tulane falls to Texas Tech, and now they'll face Missouri. Oregon will face Georgia, and I gotta think Georgia will pull that one out. And I think it's a coin flip here, Florida State versus Miami. We have their former edge rusher. He's going to be looking for revenge against them. Now up to an 85 overall with his star dev he's developed this season. I'm not sure what he upgraded. We got a developing story here. Jaden Mayava, the senior quarterback, is injured. He has a quad tear and will miss the rest of the playoffs, man. That is unfortunate for Miami. Their next man up is Emory Williams. He's only played in 1 game. He has 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked twice. He completed about 50% of his passes, 250 yards. And that was in the conference championship versus SMU. So he's only played in 1 game, but he won an impressive one. And then in the receiving core, at least Emory Williams has a lot of talent there. Ray Joseph, JoJo Trader, Malachi Tony, 3 really good starters. And then even the backups are solid as well. All-American here from Iverson Hooks. Elijah Lofton, number 9, the big tight end with 85 speed. I remember him having a lot of yards against us. Miami being down, their starting quarterback is just a significant blow. And unless their offensive line can pick up the missing pieces, we're going to expose them early in this game. Miami will hand off up the middle, met by Aguirre and a host of other defenders. Three receivers to the left, including tight end Lofton. They hand it off on second down. Loss of 1. Two tight ends right. Emory Williams hands it off, and there is a clear opening on that side for him to run right in. Raphael scores, and Miami takes the lead for the first time today. Down by 4 with 4 minutes to go here in the first half. We're making a switch, at least for a drive. Give Puglisi some time to rest. Kevin Speary enters the game. His first pass will be out left for Aaron Boone, but he cannot hang on. Made a diving attempt. And down by 4. It's not looking good here for this drive. 3rd and 12 attempt. We will go to the air, and Speary's going to throw it into like triple coverage and be intercepted. Puglisi will check back in. It's time to get the ball rolling. He's only completed like 4 passes on 11 attempts. Here's a completion out right for Bo Jackson. I might be wrong, but I think every pass just about has been caught by Bo Jackson. Randy Pittman might have a catch as well. Here's a screen pass to Javon Boggs. He gets loose up to the 32. At least the offense was able to get us down here for a field goal try. This kick will be up and good. Thankfully, the kick meter did not go crazy on me. Emory Williams will hand this one off, and Raul Aguirre Jr. with the TFL. That is his 4th TFL of the game. That'll make it 3rd down and 11 to start this second half. Emory Williams to the air and sacked by Lyons. Oh no, that's McKay, the big defensive tackle. Do think we got very fortunate there. Drive continues. Puglisi, Bo Jackson right up the middle. Finally getting something going on this drive. The offense has felt very stale most of this game, but I would like to finish with a touchdown. We have 2 field goals and a few punts. From the 33, Puglisi will take it to the air. He's going to have to just dump this one left side for Alex Perry. He was wide open, though. Makes a move on 3 defenders and gets us to the 5. To the air once more. This time to Boggs, who falls in. That RPO slant is really nice in the end zone. And Boggs is one of our best receivers in traffic. That's why I trusted him there. And we're going to put pressure back on Miami's offense, who I will say has looked phenomenal considering Jaden Mayava is missing today. On the ground, the carry is brought up to the 36. Good run. That's the kind of run you need to stay healthy in this game. Don't want to fall behind and get ahead of yourselves passing too many times. We all know what happens when you do that. To the air. But Emory Williams sacked by Sammy Brown. Loss of 7. Spreading us out here. I was going to blitz, but decided to back off. Sending 3. We still almost had pressure. Left side and broken up by Quindarius Jones. Good play from the senior. Miami is definitely in field goal range at this spot. We need a sack here to push them back. Pass caught left side and pushed out. From the 35, Emory Williams is sacked. Deontay McCray gets his 3rd of the game, backing him up all the way to the 40. With less than 3 minutes to go in the Peach Bowl, we have possession, but it's 3rd and 6. Puglisi to the air. Gets this one to Aaron Boone, who sheds the tackle and picks up the first down. And Miami will spend their first timeout ahead of the 2-minute warning. Aaron Boone's biggest catch of the day comes in one of the most crucial moments. Now continuing the drive and able to take their timeouts. We'll keep this one on the ground to Bo, and he gets us a good gain of 10. 3rd and 1. Single high safety look for Miami. We call RPO, and Randy Pittman gets open. With no more timeouts, that might do it for Miami. With this kneel down, FSU will top Miami, finally getting our revenge. Could have gotten it potentially in the ACC championship, but SMU spoiled that. We get the rematch in the playoffs, and we take it 20-17. FSU walks out Peach Bowl champions, and we're going to move on in the playoffs. This is unexpected, but thankfully Jaden Mayava not in this one. Emory Williams looked sharp to start this game, and then once we started getting pressure on him, it was kind of a wraps. Puglisi was scaring me, especially when we threw that pick six early, but they were scoreless in the second half, and we had them beat in just about every single category. Emory Williams, 18 for 22, no touchdowns, no picks, very efficient, but only 121 yards. Bo Jackson didn't have his typical game, but 16 for 77, still very efficient, no touchdowns. 3 broken tackles is good. But how about this defense? They showed up today as well. 5 TFLs for Aguirre is crazy. 3 sacks for Deontay McCray. Zay Thomas had one as well from his cornerback spot. And it will be a rematch against Florida in the Sugar Bowl. Whoever wins this game will get a chance at the national championship. Florida barely escaping this game against Tennessee. They scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, but it was too late at that point. DJ Lagway, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, 116 on the ground for Fluff Bothwell, but 31 carries, 2 touchdowns. He might be a little gassed. Dallas Wilson in the air, 150 yards, man, that is insane. Both the number 1 and number 2 team have been knocked off, as well as number 4 Missouri. Texas Tech advances and they'll face Oregon. I'll tell you right now who I want to face in the national championship. Give me a matchup against Texas Tech, and Florida State will officially be rebuilt into national champions. But a matchup against Oregon would be a lot more difficult and probably a lot more fun to watch. But before we can even worry about the national championship, we have to get through the Gators again. But they have made it just as far as us, and in a little bit more impressive fashion. They have scored a ton of points in the playoffs, and they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder this time. Sometimes that's all you need to turn the tides in a game. They're averaging 43 points a game, us only 25. One of their top players is Dallas Wilson. He had the 150-yard game last week against Tennessee. We'll have to see if our defensive backs can withstand their passing attack against DJ Lagway and Fluff Bothwell on the ground. He is also going to be a matchup nightmare. Though we have had the number 1 rush defense all season, we just need them to show up one more time before we get to the national championship. One more game stands between us and a national championship, and it's against a team that we have already proven ourselves against. It's 3rd and 5. Defense has a shot here. Broken up. That's Zay Thomas in coverage. With this kick, Florida will get the first points in the Sugar Bowl. 3-0 is the score after a few possessions. Neither offense really pulling away right now. This run defense looking pretty solid right now. Have to get Jackson involved through the air, I guess. He'll pick up a first down catch. Puglisi to the air. Randy Pittman on that right side gets open again. They're going to have to key in on that. This drive was important for FSU, because if we punted back to them and they scored a touchdown, of course, we're going down 2 possessions. But we're in field goal range already, and if we can get this pass complete to Alex Perry, he does more. He'll score 6 and the first touchdown in the Sugar Bowl. Gators left him wide open on the slant, and Puglisi read it. So the Gators tacked on a field goal of their own, but they left us 50 seconds to try and get something going. Bo Jackson strikes with the first. 3rd and short. Puglisi will go to the air. Has to just roll away from pressure and throw it away. Florida's defense is playing harder than I have seen from any defense this season. I can't get anything big right now. Quick pass on that left side is caught, and now they're in field goal range. Sending Bothwell motion to the right. Throw it back over the middle to Wilson, and now at the 11. Not looking good here for FSU. To the air once more. Lagway goes down. Lightfoot picking up the second sack for the Seminoles. And right now, they are looking really sharp, both on offense, and I've got to say their defense has been an extremely hard problem. I cannot get anything going on the ground, and when I throw it, it's only a few yards that I can get at a time, so I'm going to have to just take whatever I can get and quit trying to get these big plays set up because it's not working. After a costly hold call backs us up, we are now faced with a 3rd and 17. Getting really good blocks on that left side. Frees Gerard Pringle. And he's going to get us all the way up to the 12. Just talked about that holding call. That's one way to make up for it. Free your back up like that on first down. No. And now it is a 3rd down again. 3rd and 19 this time. I guess it's a sack. I didn't even know what to say about this play because the pressure came so fast. Didn't have any time to react. That's really unfortunate for us to end a drive with nothing after it took a majority of the quarter. And now with possession here, they could increase their lead. And they're definitely increasing the length of this drive. They're being halted by a 3rd down right now, though. Lagway is going to have to scramble it and going to move it all the way up to the 38. Haven't seen him run all game, and then all of a sudden he gets the longest rush from anybody all game. And now I couldn't get back to my assignment, and I get a penalty on me. Like, everything is falling apart right now. Neither team really doing anything here in the 3rd quarter, and now DJ Lagway increasing the lead. It's actually the 4th quarter now. And we didn't have anything going on in the second half. But on this drive, everything has just flipped. DJ Lagway turned into a monster, and our defense got absolutely torn apart. Now looking right side to make it a 14-point game. They get the 2-point conversion. Down by 14, we have to show some urgency here. We wasted an entire quarter to get no points. And now Puglisi cannot throw a crossing route to save his life. I have witnessed Ryan Puglisi miss more crossing routes than he is connected with. I don't understand how a quarterback can't make a crossing route when the receiver is open and there's no pressure. I mean, there was pressure, but it was not in his face. All right, enough complaining. Ryan Puglisi, with pressure in his face, throws it at the ground. I'm not joking when I say this team is locked in right now. Every single thing they call is countering whatever I have. It does not matter right now. They have everything locked up, and it has been like this the entire last, 10 consecutive plays. Ooh! Now, I do think it was a terrible time to call a 4th down try. Ever since I missed that field goal in the 3rd quarter on the first possession, everything has gone wrong. We can hold them to a 3rd down a bunch of times, but they have converted every single one in the second half so far. Bluff Bothwell shedding several tackles just to lose 7 yards. Now from the 15, Lagway dumps this one to Wilson. He jukes ahead for the first, and the clock continues to wind. Well, now the good news is they can't get a 1st down to keep the drive going, so it's touchdown or nothing here. And with Bluff Bothwell breaking all these tackles, he might as well give it to him. DJ Lagway lining up in this very interesting formation. Nothing else could be coming, so I just sent the house. Like, that right there just felt like an insult. Like, they're just like, yeah, we know that you know we're going to do this. Can you actually stop it, though? Great throw and catch from Lagway toe dragging from Dallas Wilson. That is pretty much the nail in the coffin right here for FSU. A moment ago, I said it feels like everything's going Florida's way. Like last drive, they had 9 plays, 4.5 minutes. They only went 31 yards and got a touchdown. They burned up a ton of clock with a short field, mind you, and now they're forcing me to catch it quickly and make plays with Jared Pringle. I cannot believe this is how FSU's season is ending. In a blowout to a team that we beat in the regular season. And now, with a minute remaining, Aaron Boone is finally healthy enough to check back into the game. But with minimal time, who knows if he'll even get a chance to. Just going to have to send up a prayer, and these deep passes have looked like that all game. This time, Aaron Boone will get a catch here in the Sugar Bowl finally. He got hurt on an off-ball play and has been absent most of this game. I don't want to say that's the reason we lost, but that's one of our biggest playmakers, and we can't even score more than 10 points. Just going to heave one up to the end zone, and Gibson comes down with it, sure. This to make it look like we didn't lose as bad. Wow, perfect ending. Florida intercepts it and will walk out of here as Sugar Bowl champions. And we'll be heading to the national championship. TJ Lagway threw 30 passes in this game and completed 28 of them. That is his stat. I don't think exactly, but he only missed 2 passes this entire game. I cannot believe the fall apart that we just had in that second half. We were only down by 6 coming out of halftime. That is how my final rebuild in college football 26 is going to end. We finished the season 11-4 with 2 playoff wins, and I gotta say, after taking a loss to Miami right here in week 7, I didn't think we were going to even get to the playoffs, especially after dropping another one to SMU, this heartbreaking game. I thought for sure that killed any chances at the playoffs that we had. But then we bounced back with this huge win over Florida. A 14-point win over what they were the number 2 team in the nation at that point. But because of the SMU loss, we don't get invited to the conference championship. However, we do go to the playoffs where we beat Ohio State 24-14 and then get a matchup against Miami where we got our revenge just by a field goal though, and then for some reason we just crumbled here against Florida. I genuinely don't know what happened in this one. A switch got flipped in that second half and we couldn't do anything. Even though it was a successful season, it still really hurts to go out. I just can't believe how well their defense played, especially when we scored 28 points on them last time. Either way, I still had fun with this team, and if you guys enjoyed this longer video, I didn't do many long ones with FSU. I've been experimenting, trying to see what's better with series or just big giant videos like this one, where you play most of the season or the entire season as well. Trying to figure out what people like more and honestly what I like to do more. And as of right now, I'm not sure what I prefer. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I had a fun time on College Football 26, but it's time to get ready for College Football 27. Good luck in all your dynasties and road to glory. Y'all take care. Peace.